Good evening and welcome. Tonight, a story from the heart of English football that has sent shockwaves through the Premier League and left fans and pundits alike questioning decisions at the very top. Tottenham Hotspur, a club renowned for ambition and history, made headlines last summer when they appointed Thomas Frank, the Danish tactician who had quietly transformed Brentford into one of the league's most resilient and exciting sides. But the price tag alone was startling. Spurs reportedly paid a staggering £6.7 million in compensation to Brentford, securing Frank and his coaching staff in a move that was seen as bold, decisive, and ambitious. Fast forward 8 months, and the very man they invested in so heavily has been sacked. The news broke on Wednesday morning, leaving fans reeling and raising pressing questions about both the club's strategy and the cost of ambition in modern football. The compensation figure, now confirmed in Brentford's published 2024-25 accounts, shines a light on just how much Tottenham valued Frank's leadership and, perhaps more importantly, the coaching infrastructure he brought with him. It wasn't just Frank who moved to Spurs. Key members of his team, including Justin Cochran, Chris Haslam, and Joe Newton, were part of the package. These are professionals who played a central role in Brentford's Premier League stability, and their departure underscores the scale of Tottenham's investment. Yet, despite the money spent and the initial promise, Frank's tenure lasted less than a season, a sobering reminder that financial outlay alone cannot guarantee success at the highest level of English football. From the start, Spurs fans were optimistic. Frank had a proven track record of overachieving with limited resources, and his analytical approach and man-management style made him a sought-after coach. But optimism quickly faded as the team struggled to find form. Following Tuesday night's 2-1 home defeat to Newcastle, calls for Frank's dismissal grew louder, echoing across social media platforms and fan forums. Tottenham's record tells a grim story: just 2 wins in 17 Premier League matches, leaving the club perilously close to the relegation zone, sitting 16th with only a 5-point buffer. It's a situation that would test even the most experienced managers, and for Frank, the challenge proved insurmountable. The decision to part ways with Frank, while painful, is a reflection of Spurs' urgency. The Premier League is unforgiving, and clubs with lofty ambitions are under constant pressure to deliver results. Yet, the manner in which this saga has unfolded raises deeper questions about the strategic planning behind managerial appointments. Was the £6.7 million compensation a sign of Spurs' commitment, or does it now stand as a cautionary tale of the risks involved when investing heavily in leadership without adequate alignment with club culture and expectations? Brentford's disclosure leaves little room for ambiguity. The broader financial context makes this even more compelling. Brentford's accounts reveal a record turnover of £173 million, a testament to their remarkable progress under owner Matthew Benham. Yet, with player costs rising, operating losses increased to £40 million, showing the delicate balance clubs face between growth, sustainability, and sporting success. Tottenham's decision to part ways with Frank may have been influenced by results on the pitch, but the financial implications of hiring and firing a manager in such circumstances are significant and complex. Turning our attention to the numbers, Brentford's accounts provide a rare glimpse into the financial side of modern football that fans rarely see. The £6.7 million figure appears in a note under Other Operating Income, described as a settlement received in relation to guaranteed compensation receivable in relation to the departure of on-field staff. While Thomas Frank is not explicitly named, it is widely understood that this payment represents the compensation Spurs paid to secure him and his coaching team. Such transparency is unusual but revealing, highlighting the way football clubs balance competitive ambition with financial pragmatism. It is also a stark reminder of the financial stakes involved in managerial change. Frank reportedly signed a 3-year contract with Tottenham, and ending that relationship prematurely will likely have cost the club millions more in severance or settlement arrangements. When combined with the initial compensation to Brentford, the financial burden of this appointment and now dismissal adds a layer of scrutiny for Spurs' board. In an era where club finances are under constant public and media attention, the implications extend far beyond the pitch. Every decision, especially one involving a high-profile managerial figure, carries both sporting and economic consequences. Brentford's rise under Matthew Benham provides an interesting counterpoint. The club has consistently punched above its weight, leveraging data-driven insights to maximize performance while maintaining financial discipline. Last season, finishing 10th in the Premier League was a major achievement, yet it also came with increased player costs, pushing operating losses higher. Despite this, the club reported a £27 million profit on player sales, even before accounting for the summer departures of key figures like Brian Bumo, Jon Wissa, and Christian Norgard. It is a testament to the club's strategic planning that they continue to thrive financially, even while competing at the top level. For Spurs, the situation is markedly different. The Europa League triumph under Ange Postecoglou only weeks before Frank's appointment had set high expectations, and yet the club's current league standing is sobering. Just 2 victories in 17 games signal not only tactical challenges but also questions about cohesion, player morale, and managerial fit. Fans, notoriously passionate and vocal, have not held back their opinion. The backlash after the Newcastle defeat exemplifies the pressures facing managers in high-profile roles. In this climate, patience is a rare commodity, and results are the ultimate currency. Analytically, there is much to unpack. Was the compensation fee justified given Frank's credentials and Brentford's reluctance to release him? Could Tottenham have mitigated risk through a more gradual integration or alignment strategy? These questions highlight the tension between financial investment and sporting reality, a tension that is increasingly pronounced in the Premier League, where the stakes are as high off the pitch as they are on. Clubs are operating in a market that demands instant results, yet human factors, team dynamics, and tactical adaptation cannot be bought outright, no matter the sum involved. The human side of this story is equally compelling. Thomas Frank, widely respected for his approach at Brentford, faced a challenge few managers could navigate successfully. Moving to Tottenham represented not just a step up in profile, but a seismic shift in expectations. At Brentford, the narrative was about steady growth, analytics-driven tactics, and building a culture of overachievement. At Spurs, the environment is one of immediate pressure, global scrutiny, and an impatient fan base. Even with £6.7 million as a testament to his perceived value, the realities of managing a club of Tottenham's stature proved difficult to reconcile with the proven methods Frank brought from Brentford. Coaching staff transitions add another layer of complexity. When Justin Cochran, Chris Haslam, and Joe Newton joined Spurs alongside Frank, they brought continuity, insight, and an understanding of Frank's philosophy. Yet, the Premier League spotlight is unrelenting. The pressure to produce instant results can quickly overshadow methodology, particularly when early matches yield disappointing outcomes. It's a reminder that success in football is as much about environment, adaptation, and timing as it is about raw talent or coaching pedigree. From a tactical standpoint, Frank's Spurs faced challenges on multiple fronts. Injuries, inconsistent performances, and the need to integrate new players all created a volatile mix. 2 wins in 17 matches reflect more than just poor form. They suggest systemic issues within the squad and club structure. Tottenham's ambition to compete at the highest levels of European and domestic football may have collided with the realities of transition, illustrating the fine line clubs walk when making high-stakes managerial decisions. Financially, Spurs' outlay is significant. Beyond the initial £6.7 million to Brentford, the club will incur further costs associated with terminating Frank's contract early. In modern football, such expenditures are often justified by potential returns in league position, European qualification, or brand growth. Yet, in this case, the immediate return has been limited, raising questions about risk assessment, planning, and whether the decision-making process fully accounted for the challenges of Premier League management. Brentford's transparency in their accounts provides a useful lens. The club's record turnover, increased operating costs, and strategic player sales illustrate a model of sustainability and growth. In contrast, Tottenham's approach underscores a common tension in football, balancing ambition with stability. Spending heavily on managerial appointments may signal intent, but without alignment, patience, and structural support, even the most celebrated coaches can find success elusive. Strategically, Tottenham now faces crucial decisions. Who will take the helm? And how will the club ensure the next appointment avoids a repeat of this situation? The Premier League does not tolerate prolonged underperformance, yet history shows that clubs often cycle through managers in search of the perfect fit, sometimes at great financial and reputational costs. The lessons from Frank's tenure may influence future appointments, not just in terms of compensation, but in vetting, integration, and support structure. For fans, this period is a moment of reflection and frustration. Expectations were high, and the initial promise of Frank's appointment created excitement. Yet, the realities of football management, pressure, results, and the unforgiving pace of the Premier League have tempered that enthusiasm. Fans' voices, amplified by social media, have become a defining factor in managerial tenures, highlighting the complex interplay between club leadership, public perception, and sporting outcomes. Looking at the broader picture, Brentford's growth under Matthew Benham offers an instructive contrast. Entering the Deloitte Money League for the first time and ranking 30th, the club has demonstrated that disciplined strategy, careful investment, and data-driven decision-making can yield both financial and sporting success. Tottenham's situation, by contrast, emphasizes the high-risk, high-reward nature of top-tier football, where decisions are scrutinized instantly and the consequences of miscalculation are magnified. It is also important to consider the human impact on players. Managerial instability often disrupts team dynamics, affects morale, and can hinder performance. Tottenham's squad now faces another adjustment period, integrating new leadership, tactical directives, and potentially shifting responsibilities. Such transitions can have a lasting effect, making it critical for clubs to balance urgency with stability. Analysts will debate for months the wisdom of Spurs' investment and subsequent dismissal of Frank. The £6.7 million compensation, now public knowledge, serves as both a headline and a cautionary tale, a vivid illustration of how financial decisions, ambition, and human factors intersect in modern football. The Premier League remains a fiercely competitive arena, and Tottenham's experience reminds clubs, fans, and observers alike that success is never guaranteed. Regardless of the resources committed at AS, we reflect on this unfolding story. The implications extend beyond Tottenham and Brentford. In today's football landscape, clubs operate as high-stakes enterprises, balancing ambition, financial prudence, and competitive performance. Managerial appointments, once primarily about experience and leadership, now involve complex financial arrangements, contractual negotiations, and public scrutiny. Frank's brief tenure exemplifies both the potential rewards and inherent risks of such investments. For Spurs, the immediate challenge is clear. Stabilize the team, identify the next managerial candidate carefully, and ensure alignment between leadership, players, and club vision. The cost of miscalculation, both on the field and in financial terms, is substantial. Fans, meanwhile, will be watching closely, holding the club accountable not just for results, but for the choices that shape the long-term trajectory of one of England's most storied football institutions. Brentford, on the other hand, emerges with validation. Their transparency, strategic growth, and financial discipline highlight the value of planning, resilience, and measured ambition. Even as they continue to sell players and reinvest in the squad, the club's model offers a blueprint for sustainability and competitive achievement, a reminder that careful management can yield both stability and progress. In conclusion, Tottenham's saga with Thomas Frank is a compelling narrative of ambition, risk, and the unpredictable nature of football. The £6.7 million fee, the short-lived tenure, and the pressures of Premier League management all converge to tell a story of modern football in high definition, where money, expectation, and human endeavor intersect in ways both thrilling and unforgiving. As the Premier League season continues, one thing remains certain: decisions at the top will define not only the club's present, but the path it carves for years to come.